I'm here tonight with Rudy Chavez and his wife, both which are former and current members of EmpireArcadia, so let me explain to you how this interview works. I have several questions which I'll usually show you before I record. I already did. You can answer them however you see fit. You can use this as a chance to clear yourself of any things or things up for others. People are free to quote you or me in this interview, completely unbiased. Your wife decided to join, so she's free to jump and answer these questions with you or, if she wants to give her own take. Now that that's been explained, are you ready?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes, we are.
The documentary you showed me about TG, it was a CNC, Rudy Ferretti and the No Princess in the Castle, I saw the entire thing and I was laughing at the Fuck You song that he was singing. I think he's a great singer, by the way. Ferretti's, he's pretty good at that. Actor-wise and model, I suppose he could fill those roles both. But anyway, going to the question here, what prompted you to create that documentary and what response were you expecting?
Well, RJF asked me and my wife to help take down a documentary called No Princess in the Castle, telling us that they was only using female gamers and the ones they favored. It started into a podcast consisting of 3 people, me, my wife, and RJF, that caused massive attention and ended up having a second podcast with 4 people this time. Me and my wife, Michael Stroka, Truff, and RJ, of course. Down the road, it ended up being a documentary called Rudy's Corruption and Collusion, part 1 of a main documentary in progress called Video Warrior, a life gaming story of my wife.
Dang. What does she have to say about that?
What do you think about that?
About the documentary that you made?
Well, yeah, in general, yeah. Well, in this case, he said, the Rudy's Corruption and Collusion. And then, So
I only watched the first 1 hour and a half. I couldn't get to the rest of it. I started skimming as soon as it got to, like, memes and stuff, and as soon as it got to the roundtable chat, I kind of backed away.
Oh, you didn't see the whole thing?
Not the whole thing, no. All I saw was the first 1 hour of you guys talking with Ferretti. And
yeah.
I kind of agreed with the 3 of you were saying. It did really much look like it was a woman-only film, and, like, I get the idea that there's not a lot of female gamers on the scene, but it should have, not have taken that kind of a sexist approach against gaming in general. I thought that was stupid.
Well, yeah, because I guess they're just trying to make, these days, they just want to make documentaries or anything. That's nothing new, there's a bunch of female gamers, documentaries out there from different countries and stuff, so. But, that's nothing to hate on. It's just the way it was approached, like you said.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate on that either, but I don't know why feminism has to jump into the video game scene. Like, it's pretty silly. It's kind of the same concept of how the news media makes video games out to be violent, or how TV is bad for you. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you get the chance, just look at the rest of it.
I will as soon as this is over.
Definitely.
I have to get around to that. I didn't have time earlier today, but I thought the documentary was funny and overall entertaining to watch, especially the first half. I laughed about several times, especially the Ferretti Fuck You song. That was fucking hilarious. Tell me about the games you both played over the years. Like, what was your favorites? Who did you compete against if you did? And, what TG scores are you proud of?
Well, we did not compete with others. We mostly do no-death run plays to show our friends our skills in classic arcade gaming, like Contra, Super Contra, The Punisher, Mercs, also on consoles like the NES, Narc, and Jackal. And my wife, she's been doing that stuff like on the Nintendo, making no-deaths even before she had met me. So she's been gaming and all that. So you want to say something about that? Like, I wanted to put her in TG, but since there has been a lot of problems in Twin Galaxies, she hasn't gone around to make world records on that. But she has skills to do world records really easily. But she likes to do no-death runs on arcades and Nintendo.
I have some records that are have about 4.
Doesn't Retro Uprising have score and death runs?
Say what?
Doesn't Retro Uprising have score and death runs, or are they just speedrun only?
Oh, you're talking about... I've never heard of that one. I've actually been with Record Setter. And they do all kinds of world records, even gaming. And I have about 4 world record speed runs.
Oh,
so.
like the one that we did on the PC. What was it
The
called?
one we did on the PC, yeah. With,
Yeah. What was that? Oh, the Order of War,
Order
right?
of War.
Yeah, we got the world record for the speed run on that game.
Yeah, because
4.
speedrunning is the most competitive scene, though, but it's, like, starting to degrade. There needs to be more options. Like, I agree, the whole challenge, no death, and score runs should also be a part of gaming, but there's almost no place for challenge running, which would be death runs, no using certain item runs, like limited stuff. I feel like those need a special place in gaming, and there's just not, and that's kind of really crappy. But, Rudy, tell me about the reason why you're a former EMP member rather than a current, like your wife.
Well, I fell out over personal issues with its leader, and I'm really gotta be careful what I say because of what I promised with Triforce.
That's fine.
But you know, just say that it's just a more of a personal issue. You know, since he's the leader, it's there's a lot bigger picture to it, but I just can't say it yet because it's very, like I said, it's very personal. But I'll probably get down to it much later if you want.
That's fine. Whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, I'm not gonna throw you under the bus or anything. If Isaiah goes crazy on you, I mean, that's his decision.
Well,
I mean,
it's not much of what he thinks because I really in this point don't care for his opinions. You know, he might care for what his interests are and his opinions, but the thing is, me and him think completely different from one another. You know, I'm more of I was a black sheep of EMP, and so my opinions supposedly hurt EMP because I've been talking with Ferretti and he didn't like that, so we had massive problems on that at the times, and it's an overall mix of situations like that. You know, like it's just more.
You dropped the food drive to drive him out to, what was it, the gaming awards?
Oh yes.
Like,
you want to get to that, huh? Well, yeah, back I can't remember when it was exactly the year. I think it was in 2010, 2011, maybe somewhere around there. He came over my house because we were gonna do a food drive, and it ended up me having to take him to the VGA awards, the video game awards, and I felt, well, I'm just being honest, I felt kind of upset because I feel like, well, is this really what you came here for? You know, is this really what you came? And I wasn't even invited to, you know, because I wasn't invited because I didn't have but they have like an invitation. He somehow called somebody, but I think it's kind of strange. You just call somebody and you're already invited. You know, they have an envelope with his name on it and everything already set for him to be in the VGA awards and the video game awards. I keep saying VGA like that. So I guess that's the same thing. It's at Sony Picture Studios or something like that. And I was just like, okay, well, you know, I see you later, and I go to Starbucks and I chill there for several hours until he comes, and I just felt pretty bad over it. I think that's wrong to do. You know, I mean, you gotta, you know, if you're going to do it, if you're going to do
if
something.
You have any friend or team member, you should be relying on them and not kind of using them as a tool. I mean, I get what you're feeling. I don't think he felt that way about you. Which I was probably thinking in the back of my mind, maybe you thought that.
Yeah, just thinking about it just upsets me, you know.
I can understand now.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for your wife. How long have you been a member of Empire Arcadia, and what makes you stay in there?
Basically, I've been a member since 2014, about 4 years now.
Oh.
Back in 2014, we were doing our runs, and we did uploads to YouTube, to the site, stuff like that. You know, we did a little bit of work. Actually, we've been going through a lot of hard times, so I wanted to do more for the Valkyries, you know, because I don't see a lot of the Valkyries. I'm not sure who are the Valkyries besides Robin, and I don't see a lot of women there representing the Valkyries. So basically, I have a lot of longtime friends there.
Are the Valkyries like a separate group of Empire Arcadia? Or
yeah, for the females.
The female division.
Ah.
The female division of Empire Arcadia, a part of all the males. So we basically, me and Robin, we represent that group. and I just basically want to see if I could do a lot to make some positive changes for the team and for the Valkyries and represent women and gamers.
During the time that you were in there, was Todd Rogers ever a part of that community? Like he was in the Discord in 2014.
Right.
Involved somehow over Skype.
Right.
Yeah. Todd Rogers was like the big brother of VMP. Very loyal, easy to talk to, very friendly, good guy, overall good guy. And he's like, me and him are very close as friends. But ever since what happened, he's been very quiet. So for obvious reasons.
I mean, do you think that Dragster record was possible?
You know what? I do think it's possible. You know why? Because he originally was supposed to come to my house and do that time right in my own home. And somehow it just didn't happen. Like he didn't come over, but he was gonna come over, do his world record time on my game, and and autograph it and everything. Sign it and everything. It was gonna be.
What do you think about the one game that had a score that had an odd value that can't be reached? It was like some 1. It had a 1 at the end that you couldn't reach, and it doesn't go up in that standard.
Well, if I was to tell you openly and honestly over it, I think it's possible that he might have had a prototype, being that it was Activision at the time. They might have had a prototype.
Well, I don't know what the game score that I'm trying to reference here is offhand because I'm just thinking of it, but it's not a relevant question that I've shown to you. But I'm trying to remember what the game was called, but it was referenced quite a few times by many other YouTubers, and the game, the way the score ended that was inputted by him was like in the 5s, and the game doesn't increment by 5.
Well, that's the thing. That's the whole. I mean, how do you say it? Maybe it just I don't want to believe it like that. You know what I mean? Maybe can I just be open honestly? I don't want to believe it like that, because then there's the
maybe
truth,
there
right?
was a prototype that incremented in 5s. Yeah, maybe. And there's no way to know.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way to know because it just isn't, But if Activision confirms it, then because they're the actual official, I mean, those are the, what I mean, right? They're the ones that created the game. So by them officially saying that he did it, then he did it. I mean, this is it's just as it is, unless there's some kind of a corruption on that. It doesn't really benefit anything, right? I mean, anything out of that, It'll benefit Todd Rogers, of course, but I still don't. What I'm trying to say is,
well, yeah, it's going to get him internet popularity.
Yeah, right. But I still believe he did not cheat it. I believe he did it legitimately, and he will one day, show the world that he did do it legitimately. So we believe him.
Because there is that whole theory with alternate realities, and, I'm pretty sure the whole Bernstein thing, the Mandela effect. Maybe, in another reality that score is possible, in this reality it's not. Who knows? Right. There's no way to know. Right. Not 100% exactly, because we've, as science proceeds, we have no idea to tell that kind of difference with the Mandela effect. I'm not saying the Mandela effect is responsible for the score being impossible or not possible. I'm just saying it's just a possibility. But, how do both of you feel about the recent image floating around of Empire Arcadia's Discord where people are saying what to vote on in terms of Twin Galaxy scores, and do either of you feel that that's wrong?
Do you want me to talk about me? Okay. Well, I personally think it's wrong, but it's like politics. It's got to survive in some ways that are not the ways anyone wants. In this case, this is a classic method. So, you know what I mean? It's like you gotta do what you gotta do, to be relevant, to survive off. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Sometimes politics can be clean, sometimes they can be dirty.
Right. It's like this. It's like, well, let's just say that you have food right in your house, right? And I don't have any food, and I'm starving. I have to feed a family. It's like, okay, well, being a nice guy might not work. You might not give me the food, so I have to think sort of like if I was a bad person, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and rob him of his food and do something to get it, because what you have that to survive with, and sometimes it's just to get dirty that way, Sometimes it won't work out by just asking, and you need to do it, It's like a do it thing, and you could get the results either good or bad, just like in politics. you will think that's for a good cause, but ended up being something else. It might be, your cause could take a negative effect with someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. It's like the corruption is sometimes a natural thing because you got to do what you can to survive, and out there nobody's gonna give a. It's not gonna. Can I say some bad words?
You're free to say any bad words, just don't be racist. That's the only thing I have.
Okay. Right. Well, basically, it's no one's gonna give a fuck about you in the world, and you got to do what you got to do to survive. If you need to do it by ways of corruption and of all the power, go ahead, do it. Just don't get caught, over it. So it's like that. It's like, hey, you're lying, but I don't want to eat I don't want to eat the other animals because it's like murder. I don't want to eat them. Okay, well, don't eat them, but you're gonna die because you have to survive. You eat meat. So the lion, like I'll just say it in an analogy, right? It needs to survive, so it needs to slaughter the animal to eat it. You get what I mean, right? It looks bad, and maybe it's by someone else's eye or something, right? It's like, oh no, why is he doing that? Why is the lion maiming and ripping that poor animal and then eating it? Well, it looks bad, but it's got to do what it's got to do to survive. You know what I mean? It's like a human has its own instinct. The animal has its own instinct. It's just got to do what it's got to do.
I mean, I asked Glenn when he was in our server if what I was doing if this was colluding. Kind of hinted at it. I'm just like, is this colluding? And he said no, because you're not telling people what to vote on. And so long as you're not doing that and you're trying to manipulate the votes, you're all free to do whatever you want. Because to them, it's like it's no different if I were PMing them over, Twin Galaxies myself or just emailing them. It would make literally no difference what platform we did it on. I mean, we could do it in the dispute, or we could do it off the dispute. It doesn't really matter, so long as we weren't talking to TG staff directly to influence some kind of mannerism to go against that score or dispute, or try to twist Jace's hand or something, because I didn't do that. I contacted Dave, and that was the highest point that we could do. And a few others also contacted Dave before I even did, so I don't see what I did was wrong at all, especially considering the fact that a current TG staff consultant and founders were all in the server and all agreeing that what we were saying and what we were doing was perfectly fine. But has anyone ever asked you prior for any information about Isaiah or EmpireArcadia at any point in time? And if they did ask you, could you tell me anyone or who and what do you think they want it?
Well, there's one very popular. Well, just to say, I won't say like super popular because he's not. I'm not too happy with him right now. Is Robert Santellian? Did I say that right? Robert Santellian, aka Tipster.
Yep.
Well, a media journalist wanted me to give him info on Triforce from EMP. There's also many others I can't say, so all I could just tell you just wanted some information, and I gave it to him. I gave it to him because what I was seeing happen was crazy. So
what point in time did he ask you this stuff? Because I was investigating with him up until about July 1st to August 29th.
It was like somewhere around April, late of April.
So
maybe around
before I even stepped in. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
so just around the time Apollo Legends disappeared. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like I said, there's other people too that, but I can't really say because I gave them my word. But yeah, there's definitely behind things happening. That's been given to Tipster. Let's just say that he was.
See, he never told me about any of that. I was expecting him to tell me more. I mean, he told me he was friends with Billy the Fridge and secretly all this crazy stuff about how he uses sock accounts to fight against Billy and Todd and all these other people and Richie, and actually uses them to self-like and dislike content whenever he wants. So basically like and dislike bomb videos. It's kind of petty, but I never agreed with that. I don't want fake views and fake content on my content.
It's that you can't be like a double agent or a triple agent. Like you'll leave one for another. If something goes wrong, you're okay. I'll go to this side, or I'll go to this side. it's sort of it's best to stick with what you're going to do and not, I guess I could say it's just been some form of backstabbing, or just been, I'll just be straight with you, it's backstabbing, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, it's hard to say whose side is who or what they're doing, you know
I mean,
what
I'm pretty
mean?
sure after this interview, you can tell me anything, like, off the interview, like, privately about this, right? You have no problem with that?
Well,
I mean, just a little bit.
I guess
I'm
I could
curious.
say,
Because I'm curious at just how much he wanted from you and, like, all this stuff prior.
it's just probably too soon to tell you.
That's fine.
But if you give me time to think about it, because I pretty much giving that person my word, and I'm just telling you, just like I only say that he just wanted info from Triforce. But all fairness, in the beginning, I did came for him, to give him some details over the situation with TG and all that. So all fairness, I did came to him first, and then of course, or else he would have messaged me, because then he would not know who I am, right?
Yeah.
And then he got to know who I am. Basically, just to let him know who I am and what we do and all that. But he didn't seem to really care for any interest. He did not like my documentary. He said, that it wasn't his cup of tea.
I like
which
it.
is cool.
It's freaking hilarious.
Thanks. I think it's because of the Captain Sparrow and
No, that's probably it. I thought it was hilarious just because it was funny.
I mean, Cat is a whole different thing to talk about whenever you want to talk about that. That's not that person is very.
It's somebody irrelevant. I mean, my buddy Harold's writing a documentary or a blog spot against her. I couldn't give a fuck.
Well, I'll just say, I want to just tell you that Tipster, he's see, that's the thing. It's hard to say. It's like is he your friend or not your friend? He's like it's like a mystery, man. It's like
he kicked me for talking to Rudy Ferretti from his entire community without telling me. So it's like, regardless of what I think, it's like you kicked me out of your whole circle because I spoke to somebody you just don't like in general. That's pretty fucking petty, dude. That you end our entire kind of friendship thing because I spoke to one person you don't like. What do you think about others talking about Twin Galaxies here on YouTube? Is there any other source or YouTuber like you, or when it comes to this kind of stuff? Because I know you and your wife just hate the stupid drama, and you both love video games, I love video games, that's something we both agree with.
Well, I think it's retarded, and everyone should just stick with gaming. Drama just derails the fun in gaming. Cat Despair is behind mostly all this by her lies, causing friends to break up because she hurts by the No Place in the Castle ordeal. Not really much more to say on that. It's it's just pure crappy drama. It's like I just sort of wish that everybody just hits back in gaming.
Just go back to just playing games, having fun. So that's what I'm about. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I've been doing the last month. While not making anything about EmpireArcadia or anything, I've just been playing Randomizer, World of Warcraft, just anything in general. Sometimes I play with my RuneScape clan. I fuck about with them. That aside, you don't know any other YouTuber on YouTube that covers Twin Galaxies other than, I guess, me.
Well, obviously, like people like Michael Sroka. He's like one of the people that gives out news over.
Yeah, the other day I saw his Twitch stream with Glenn, and they were trying to talk about, like, what did they think of the... They actually broke their own code for once, where they said they wouldn't do drama, and Glenn told me about this, that they asked a question, what do you think about the current TG system in comparison to the old ref system?
I think the old TG system was better. To me, and so I mean, well, I don't know about
you think the referee system was better than the new adjudication system?
Yeah, better than that. Yeah, because now anyone could,
Well, the old referee system, people had live-in referees like Lance, which I didn't. That verification system was supposed to be used at public events. Not in your own home. Well, it should have been more than one person viewing, and I don't know the circumstances back then, but whatever TG's guidelines are, or were on that, certainly wouldn't be acceptable later on in the future.
Well, let me. Well, speaking of Lance, well, let me tell you like this. Uh,
I've heard
Lance.
Lance is special ed. Is that true?
No.
Someone told
He,
me this.
no. He has a speech impairment.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense.
Very different. No. He's smart. He's smart when he says he knows how to play. He's smart. It's just a speech impairment. Just like like a disability. It's like if someone was disabled with some port, but they might not be mentally disabled, but disabled in some other way. You know what I mean?
Well, I just only heard that from somebody else. I didn't want to just assume.
Yeah, it's no. He's not from special education or nothing like that. Not that I know of. No.
Well, anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Oh well, like I was gonna say is that well, Lance, Lance is if you was to speak freely over this, Lance, I met him. He was a cool guy, to talk to. Yeah, he has his opinions and stuff like that. He's very how do you say? He's very close to Triforce. Like his arm, like his right hand man. So that's like his right hand man. But then again, it's like it's very controversial over it.
Did he ever post in your Discord in the last few months about the Contra 3 dispute? Like, I don't understand why he didn't go into the dispute to try to help.
Well, I believe I believe that he's just being maybe instructed not to do that, because it might open up other questions over it, and which that's exactly what I think is happening. So that's probably why he doesn't want to talk.
I feel like that would have helped his case at that point, though, because he was the one who adjudicated it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm no longer cool with Lance, but I won't want to like per se backstab him or anything, but it has to do with Cat the Sparrow. It has to do with Cat because she's the one that caused problems.
And she attacked you and your wife, your family.
Yeah, she attacked me and my wife, making us look like we're bad people. And because of the no prisoners in the castle ordeal. And hold on for a second.
All right.
Let me turn that off.
All right.
And what do you call it? Yeah, I'm just kind of like almost lost in words. It's just I'm upset because it's bringing back the past. And like I said, I thought Lance was my friend. And because Captain Sprout talked ill about me and my wife, he unfriended me, and he never did, got back to me over that. And I think that's just wrong, I just think he just did that because it's a female, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, it's a chick, and I want, she's cool and everything. And I want, if she says that that's what it is, that's what it is. So you see what I'm saying, right? Favoritism. And I really hate that. It's just causing the community problems. It's like, I don't like your friend, so I'm going to unfriend you, and vice versa. It's just retarded.
No, I hate people that fucking do that.
Yeah, Cat is.
I look at people that sit there and stop being friends with somebody over something so small, without listening to the other side or banning somebody from a whole community. I see them and people like that having the smallest set of balls on the planet. And if they're female, they're the smallest set of ovaries on the planet.
I wanted to mention one special person. I won't say. Not saying special ed. There's one special person that is Patrick Scott Patterson, aka PSP. That guy. Let's just say that guy. No, I'm just gonna say it straight. I
don't have an opinion on him just yet.
Well, I just want to throw it out. That guy. He's like a cat. He's like the female version of Cat. That. You think he's your friend, and if you have something that he doesn't like, he'll also unfriend you or try to debate with you of his opinions. Just another guy just like that, just exactly the opposite of, well, not opposite, I'm saying it's the female version of Cat, just like that, just the same way, and also just to cover up his own ordeals and all that. Just letting you know, another guy that you probably want to watch out for, just in case over your opinions, because if you say something he doesn't like or anything. He's not going to agree with you. He might most likely unfriend you and all that, and then act like he's a victim, which he's a specialist at acting like he's always a victim of something.
I've seen that so far, but as far as I'm concerned, whatever PSP does is whatever he does, or Scott as he likes to be called. I don't want to get him riled up by calling him his first name directly. I'm not going to call him Patrick. I'm just going to call him Scott. Because, you know, I respect everyone's opinion equally. It's when they start to openly act like a dumb shit is when I have a problem. Whether it be openly or private, too. If you're going to act like a dumb shit in private and act nice openly, I'm going to call that out, too.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just, like what he told me,
like Kat, who went batshit nuts on me because I spoke to Ferretti and she thought I leaked information that she was saying to Ferretti and Data God. Like, look, I don't care. I didn't tell them anything. And she went full on batshit nuts and blocked me. I'm like, alright. Yeah, today's a special day. That's all I said. I'm like, okay, next thing on my list of things to do today.
Well, let me tell you real quick this. I mean, what kind of person is this? Is a person saying that you took food away from my family or and stuff like that? It's like from PSP. Well, I mean, do you think that's a little weird saying that? Yeah. Oh, you took away food from my family because of our opinions. You know what I mean? Like
from a Facebook post?
No, it was on the No President Castle. We're debating on it, and it caused a lot of attention on the podcast. He was upset and told me on Skype that I was taking away food from his family by doing that. And he's not even the main person of the film. You know what I mean? It's like he acts like he's the owner.
The film got $63,000 over, what was it? What platform? Patreon?
It was Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, yeah. So I don't see what the big deal is and why he has to say that, because $63,000 for a low-budget film that anybody or any YouTuber with any experience in movies or directing long videos, which I've done that, anybody could fucking do that. Hell, my one fucking friend from my hometown, I went to school with, the school that I went to, I'm not going to specify what it was, but I went to school with this kid on a secondary trade school. And during the time that I was there for a different type of class, he was another YouTuber. His name is Dominic Fear. He did the Laser Collection. I went to school with him. He did a movie called Webster's Devil, or Webster's Dictionary or something. And it was about a kid playing the role of somebody who's not too smart and needs help on tests, so he does a contract with the devil to pass all of his grades. And the devil comes into school, and it's kind of hilarious. It's 2 hours long, and he made the whole thing in one semester.
Wow.
He's also the creator for the Laser Collection, which, very old YouTube series. Very old. You're talking like, I'd say several years back. He's as old as I am right now, and he's still making videos and content and doing his own thing. But the whole point of that is, it doesn't cost a dime to make a fucking movie. It just depends what crazy actors are you willing to get in the movie. And if we're talking about actors here, I guess the only two main actors out of that entire thing, at least to my knowledge, would be Ferretti and Billy. I mean, how much does it take to pay those two off? I don't know. Well, Billy probably at least a good couple of grand. Ferretti, same thing.
Can I say something about Ferretti?
Yeah.
Oh, Ferretti. Ferretti is, let's just say, Ferretti has some problems, and he really does have some problems, and he could switch on you anytime. He could change on you, anytime, and that's the one guy that one of the most. He's a great gamer. He just thinks that becoming infamous is the way to go, and he's basically trying to be like the bad guy, a real life villain in the gaming scene, and I could say that he's helped my family at one point when we were in trouble, and I did work for him on his Splatterhouse machine, which was an interesting experience. It's just that it's just sad and upset that man would talk behind my back ill about. He was talking behind my back to Richie Knuckles from the guy that came out from that movie. What's that movie called? It was some kind of. It was like the King of Kong. It's just something similar to that.
Was it the thing Frico mentioned the other day?
Yeah, I think so. It's
It
just, I
was,
can't remember what it's called. Uh, I forgot what it was called, the title, but he came out in a documentary, but he was talking ill about me and my wife, and I thought that was my friend. You know what I mean? I thought that was a friend of ours, but he spewed so much, and while I was working on his arcade and everything, you know, it's like I said, it's just so many weird, strange things happening in the gaming scene. You know, with Ferretti, that guy, um, speaking freely to him, he's really cool if you're on if you do what he says, or like if you know and believe his philosophies and his his ordeals and all that. And if you don't, and you oppose him, he'll become like your greatest enemy, and he has done that already. That's like what happening
well, the
with
thing I'm
Tipster.
trying to do is, one, get everyone together that's in TG, cut the fucking people who are causing the drama, and get to the people that are actually A, in it for the games, two, that want to actually patch things up and, you know, do the right fucking things and say the right things. I mean, you saw me try to talk to Ferretti in my open mic interview, and I tried to tell him, hey, you should be friends with Kat. What do you have to say about that? I tried to convince him, and I tried to actually be the nicer person. I gave him a chance, and he immediately declined it. And he has every right to that. I'm not going to say he should have done it, and I'm not going to say he shouldn't have. All I'm going to say is, I gave him an opinion. I gave him an option. He had that option. It wasn't even a question.
It's funny because at one time Freddie told me that Kat called him on the phone, and she said that she wants to see him succeed, and she forgives him, and she said she was sorry to Ferretti. And Ferretti sort of, I thought they parting each other at one time, and it just looks like it started all over again. You know, she was like cool with Ferretti for a time being, and now it didn't last that long. You know, and
yeah, someone told me, I don't know if it was you or somebody else, I don't recall, but somebody had said that Ferretti and her were going to be a thing. Can someone describe this to me? Because I'm blind to love.
Well, when you mean a thing, I mean,
somebody suggested they were going to have sex.
Yeah, that's actually true. That Ferretti himself told me that they were gonna do that, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened with him then too. He probably just saw a really nasty pussy and said, "Fuck that shit."
Really?
What?
That was
that bitch is ugly anyway.
Rudy.
No, that's how she likes to talk shit, and so
Rudy, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion though, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it with that.
Okay.
Whoa.
I try to be a nice person.
Whoa.
My name may be meme troll. I may trigger people, but I don't go right for the punchline.
Sorry about that. It's just that you don't mess with my family like that, and nobody wants to. I'll stop. I'm trying to say. No, I'll stop. I mean, I was gonna say cracker eating hoe.
I mean, you just had your morning coffee. I don't have any caffeine in me just yet. I gotta go to the store and get some.
Yeah. So
that was most of all of my questions, even though I threw a quick few in. Do you have any questions for me at all? You can squeeze a couple in if you want.
Yes. What is your agenda?
Why is that everyone's question to me?
No. That's actually. I'm just telling you. No, I'm just telling you. Well, maybe because a lot of people might see you mysteriously, but like, okay, what is?
I'll publicly admit what my agenda is. This agenda actually jumps back to November of last year. And I said this in private conversation. You know which one I'm talking about, as you saw it. I work for 3 different people. I'm not employed by just one person. And under my own leadership, I run 4 of my own networks. Not directly. These 4 networks are individuals that run their own clans, their own groups, their own esports teams, whatever. One of them is trying to become an esports team, is what I'm trying to say. Primarily over Rocket League and Fortnite and Overwatch, but it's not something I'm taking too confidently. But anyhow, the whole purpose to my agenda is, back in November, I worked with this guy, and he was close friends of Apollo somehow. I don't know how. Apparently knew him. Apparently he was from California. And I only knew him through another two people. One of my closest friends, who I consider my brother, he goes by the name of Mr. Skinbark, or if you want to refer to him as Loogie. He changes names like every so often to avoid problems, and because he's mostly busy with his own kid. You know, he has a family just like you, and he tries to work things out and play games at the same time. He doesn't have much time anymore, and he's pretty much the closest thing I have to an actual brother that I talk to almost on a daily basis. But prior to all that, it was me, him, and a couple other people sitting in a Discord call back in November, and one of them was good friends of Apollo, and, you know, a few months down the line, after a short conversation, he was telling me about how this private individual, I'm not going to say his name because he's my boss, told me about how Apollo was going to go after Todd Rogers sometime in late December to January. I don't know what the whole situation was, but he told me in the event that if he was ever exposed or in any manner disappeared off the face of the internet, follow in his footsteps and kind of figure out what the fuck happened to him. I did somewhat just like that. I was watching what he was doing over the last 3 to 4 months in the first half of the year. It was like January, February, March, and as soon as April hit, he was gone. Like, disappeared completely off the internet. So the first thing I thought, huh? You just took out and exposed 2 major gamers for possibly cheating, and you got 2 of them removed from Twin Galaxies. So why did you disappear? Like, even our White Goose was confused, and I even asked him over Discord. He has no idea, even now, where he went. Or, like, I guess you could say the possibility of a thought of where he could have gone and what he's doing and what actually happened. My assumption was his anxiety got so bad compared to mine, because apparently from what Kat told me in private on the phone, she told me she called up Apollo and spoke to him on the phone. I'm having this feeling that one of his sources threatened him with something. Now, this is just a hunch, but my other boss, well, not really boss, but he's my pal, my other pal, Harold, said he has something that shows something otherwise. And then he's gonna post it at some point. I don't know fucking when he's gonna do it, or if he's gonna do it at all. I'm curious to see what it is myself. And I can't give out my boss's name.
Can you give me a first letter, at least, to give, you know, that mysterious person?
If I had to give him a letter, I would give him the letter K. It literally... If I had to give him a nickname, I would just consider him kind of like Kira from Death Note, if you want to go by that. He's a huge fan of that series.
Maybe it's a cosplayer.
He's not a cosplayer.
Oh, okay.
That was a good assumption, though. He's not a cosplayer, though. He's very much busy. The content he does is mostly video games. He doesn't even do gaming news or drama or anything.
Interesting.
Got any other questions?
Do you have any records of your own?
On Twin Galaxies, no, because I said if that dispute ever got closed without an official statement from Jace, that I would pretty much walk the fuck out and go to speedrun. Now, I do have kind of my own personal record for doing a Heartless run where I've done a no-death run of the whole game without getting touched.
Okay, no time.
You know,
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no... I didn't even make a requirement. There was no thing for me to follow. I just said, look, I'm going to do this game on the hardest possible setting. It's my favorite game. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to make it so hard for myself that I'm going to scream and bash my head into the wall multiple times. And I'm going to keep playing it until I get good. I ended up playing Ocarina of Time for plus 1,000 hours. And it's documented back in the day on my Xfire account, when Xfire was still available, when it would actually keep track of your hours on the games you played. I would have Project 64 open, and it recorded all the time of me playing that game, and it was like plus 1,000 hours. And I'm just proud of that alone. I mean, it's only 1,000 hours, but when you compare it to playing the game without any health, not having a weapon, and going through the whole game like that for over 1,000 hours, playing it over and over and over, and learning every possible skip, every possible exploit, and when to move, when to dodge, when to fight back, when to attack, and when to pause buffer, frame buffer, every little tactic in the game, and how to not fuck up on every boss, and do it perfectly. And mind you, every time you fuck up, you have to do the whole game again, and it takes 20 hours to beat the whole game. So you fuck up once in that 20-hour period, good luck, you gotta do it again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 20 whole hours. If you fuck up once, gotta start over.
That's quite a feat. I mean,
yeah.
Wow. I was going to ask you, what do you think of Jace Hall?
I'm 50-50 on the guy. I don't think he is the appropriate person for the position, because when Frico convinced Dave Hawkset to step down and recuse himself from that dispute, this is what happened. Jace came in, took over. He doesn't have any knowledge or any experience publicly with games like Contra 3, all these old school games. He's Echo Fox. He doesn't... He's Fortnite guy. He bought this on a whim, kind of like how Frico described it. It's like a little toy for him. If he's not an old school gamer himself, how can the head custodian, Dave Hawkset, be recused? You know, he's the leader of the board of referees. Who's the referee after that? Jace? What does he know? What games has he publicly played? Has he ever played Contra 3 himself? No. So he took over the dispute, leaked the entire email set, and then 2 days later closes the dispute on lack of evidence. His own consultants and founders all agreed that the score was not possible and was leached, even beyond the rule set. So that being said, and even the bribery claim, which was a questionable thing, it wasn't official, it was hearsay, especially if it came from PSP. I mean, I didn't trust it as a reliable source either. I just said I would prefer gaming evidence to suggest otherwise. Say, hey, look, this is enough to probably get him banned if this is true. And are these rules changed? Who changed the rules for the set or the track? And what about this other score, this Nintendo Play Choice 10? How did this get tracked with the rules when the game can only be played for 5 minutes? What's going on here? And the first thing Jace did privately, or at least to my knowledge, or told somebody, he moved that track to the regular Super Mario Bros. Arcade. Not Nintendo Play Choice 10. No new track was made for it. So he just moved it to the Super Mario Deluxe with another record and made no mention at all. So this record that's, you know, it's supposed to be its own cabinet, its own game with its own set of rules, with a timer on it. A track, or a record was made on that game and was placed in a completely different track without anyone being told. Without any mention. Anywhere. That is questionable. If RTM was here that I could talk to, he would say flat out, why the heck is that track, or that record, in the wrong track? Why is it in there? I can understand it's the same game, but the Nintendo Play Choice 10 was completely different. It had its own timer, and it had its own unique switches.
Yeah, because the versus
in Contra 3, Glenn went over Drifter's playthrough over and over and made a spreadsheet just for Jace and everyone else. It's like, how much more information did the guy frickin' need to be thrown in his face to say, hey, look, what is this? Why close it on lack of evidence and not say anything? He didn't respond to anybody in the dispute. After posting that email, he just went dead quiet. I thought that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I even told Dave Hawkset in private DM, and Data God viewed this. I said, Jace's opinion is fucking retarded. I flat out told him that. I said, your opinion is fucking retarded. And I told him, feel free to tell Jace I said that. And I hope he views this private message just like Data God can. Like, I had no problem with saying that, because I think that opinion is fucking retarded. There was enough evidence, enough stuff going on outside, and now that image of the Discord that's floating around with the collusion and corruption of him telling people what to vote on just to get submission points, just to get some credibility to be legitimate, that's disgusting. That destroys his entire system. And he's allowing it. What also confuses me about Jace Hall, just one more thing to add, there is no behavior disputes. And Glenn told me about how he was frustrated by that too, and that he was trying to work that in somehow. They were trying to make something new. The problem with that is, why is Ferretti banned if there's no behavior dispute? What? I mean, yeah, he said some fucked up shit off-site and then admitted to it on the site. What dictates off-site and on-site behavior? What do you have to say on that? What do you think?
It's obviously it's favoritism because with the Tom Duncan ordeal,
Yeah.
private staff section only in the forum, talking about getting rid of Ferretti, and that got leaked out. They got leaked out. I know who leaked it out, but I can't tell you who it did. I mean, you probably would know, but it was the person told me that leaked it out. So, and of course, Ferretti, Ferretti was given a copy of that, and that's what happened. So there's definitely corruption in there and collusion in Twin Galaxies. But I also tell myself, was it the right thing to do to expose Twin Galaxies? Was that the right thing, because it caused such disruption? You know what I mean? It even caused me to stop.
It's ruined TG as a gaming company.
Yeah, it was just best to. Yeah, it was just best to be left alone. But since they got opened up like that, now
ever since I left that wall post and logged out permanently, I look at TG like it's As the World Turns, the TV show. I'm not sure if you're more familiar with that.
Yeah.
I look at it like that, and I haven't gone to it since. It's like, if you want to be a legitimate gaming site, this is what you do. Even Freako suggested at the point when he was a former mod with Richie that they should have speedrunning. And Dave Nelson was like, no, we don't want to do speedrunning. I'm like, why the fuck not? That's a significant part in gaming. You want some popularity and some gamers coming and breaking records.
Oh man, talking about David Nelson. I met the guy. He, let's just
say,
say,
my opinion, speedrunning should be a part of that website. No ifs, ands, and buts.
I mean,
they don't have a speedrunning session.
They don't.
And
but it's stupid because Dragster is a timed game. Is that considered a speedrun? Because it's the point system is the same as the time.
I guess you could say that.
So no, but that's stupid though. It's they hint at not being speedrunning, yet what's the problem with it?
Well, it is technically speed running. You know what I mean? The vehicle, right? Supposedly, right?
Yeah.
So in reality speak sense, it is speed running, but they want to consider it like a point. The
last thing I wanted to say about Jace Hall would be going back to Tipster when he took what I said about EmpireArcadia when I contacted PSP about Isaiah and him saying that this was a bribery claim, and how when he was on the board of referees, one of the other referees said that he tried to be bribed by Isaiah. And I said, oh wow, is it okay that I put this in a video? He said, sure. So I make my video, and then over the course of a month, Tipster makes 4 fucking videos about the tipping, pushes the tipping, tells me this over Twitter, and then goes to Jace Hall privately and shows him the videos of him finding information about the accusations of bribery, and claimed all the fucking credit through Jace. I thought that was disgusting. And I have the Twitter DM of him showing me this photo. I thought that was stupid. Why was I not mentioned? I'm the one who fucking talked to PSP. Nowhere in my videos, or nowhere in his videos about that whole bribery claim was I ever referenced at all.
So they took credit from you.
Yeah, he took credit from me. Yeah.
But let me ask you then this: do you believe the tipping was a form of, like, hey,
yes.
Okay, then in this case,
I feel like anybody who tipped John Kinkle, whoever the hell was in that Empire Media call, I think anybody who was okay with that kind of behavior and leaving a gigantic wall-sized post, this wall post that John Kinkle left me, it was a comment that was longer than the wall of fucking China. I've never seen a comment so long in my life that was very illiterate. I have it screenshotted that it's so fucking long.
I mean, let me
if anyone ever was okay with the bribery claims and is okay with the old referee system, and they're both okay with both of those things, I think their scores should be questioned.
Well, can I let me give you an input over something identical to that. In my activist days, a city council member gave me a business card to pass it down to another council member. So basically, what I'm trying to say is they're a tight knit of people. Like they're together on it. There's corruption and collusion. So they're in it. You know what I'm saying? It's a favoritism. It's all in it. So if you were to tell me the tipping, because I have Triforce and I never got tipped per se, like that, right? So if in that case, yeah, I'm gonna say that it is a gesture. I'm gonna say thanks a lot for my record and for showing me how and this and that. I'm just gonna say that's part of the same territory. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, hey, thanks, thanks for doing that. I can't, really say much over that, but yeah, let's just say
what makes it more of a problem is when I don't remember where this was. I think it was Empire Media on his first cast, where he said he had several tapes and then would say, hey, look, I feel bad you have to go through several of my tapes. Set the one after the other. I'm going to pay you for doing this.
Nah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And, it's like, oh, he supposed to give me $100, so when it doesn't feel bad, he owes me that. So, I call that bullshit.
Well, I don't know how much of that is true, but it came from his mouth, so,
No, I'm not saying that you were bullshitting. I'm just saying it's like, well, if he really cares, why doesn't he care for other people like me and other people?
That's kind of... I mentioned this. I said, why didn't you want to pay M2K everything that he's owed? Why didn't you want to pay everything Wong's probably owed? He's got a lot of debt.
Well, yeah, you gotta tell yourself, why does he got a lot of debt? Well, because I'm in trouble. I'm homeless. Yeah, I'm gonna say this too. I was in trouble and I was homeless, so I know exactly where it's going. He's heading. He's getting at. But then again, you gotta tell yourself, when are you gonna stop from being in debt? Why are you asking people for money or to give you money? You know what I mean? That you gotta tell yourself. And this looks bad on you when you're a leader. You know what I mean? You're a leader. This looks bad on you. What caused the fail? Like, you want to look to see what caused it. What I could just say is it is favoritism and stuff like that. It's always something. It's a tight knit of everything. There's a oh well, I'm gonna hang around with Billy Mitchell. I'm gonna hang around with Walter Day because this is what's gonna make me relevantly famous and all that. That's just the way it is. That's just true. It's just true like that with celebrities. They hang around with celebrities, then themselves become celebrities down the road. Right? Does that make sense?
That's how he got on MTV, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's how it's done. That's how it's done in the real world. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. There's no other way to say that.
This is not entirely about you being angry at anybody or me being angry at anybody. It's not me attacking anyone, and this is not me attacking anybody that was mentioned so far directly, and that's not you attacking anyone. This is just us talking.
Well, no one just says something out of the blue, you know what I mean? It's just, there's reasons for stuff. There's reasons.
I call up Frico daily, and then I say, do you like trains? Or turtles? Or just some random fucking word. And then he responds with something witty. And then I sit there and laugh, and then we just talk. Huh. But that's just about anyone I talk to on a daily basis.
I'm just saying, you know what's up. You know what's up. There's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of fucking corruption. Excuse my language. There's a lot of corruption. There's collusion. It's favoritism. It's who you know and everything like that. If you're not nobody, no one cares for you. If you're relevant to something, you're important to somebody, they're gonna use you. It's just the dirty truth. It's just like that, you know, in the gaming scene. Like example, PSP, what do you call it? Favoritism. The one they call Splatter Hussy, Caitlin Oliver. That was all. Everything like that was all done by favoritism. It's by his recommendations and all that. You see what I'm saying? By his recommendations. It's favoritism, brother. It's nothing but favoritism. It's who you know and what they could do for you. If they don't, you know, it's just like that. It is just like that in TG. It's just like that. Jace Hall, he has his Jace Hall show, which is what he does his thing, but he's sort of like immersed it with, you know, with Twin Galaxies, right? Well, now that I bought Twin Galaxies, I could show the Jace Hall show right there even more because it's gonna have more people. Or I'm just trying to think, if I was Jace Hall, that I will do that because that's gonna get more exposure, you know, to my show, my different entity to it. That will give me more exposure. But then again, if you want to bring the drama, the drama is what's gonna bring more people into Twin Galaxies. So let me get more people. You know, I won't let it flow because this is gonna get people in there. And it's gonna and everything else. You know, so it's really for the interest. You know, it's really for one's interest.
I see what you're trying to say with it being like he's okay with the bullshit going on for drama, for more publicity. Yes. But his one post that he made was, there's always going to be bad data in the bad database. And he repeated that phrase over and over. And I'm looking at it and I'm just like, he somewhat gives a shit about the database, but I don't see him fully giving a shit about the database.
Because he's just letting it go, you know, just letting it go about like Walter Day. He's letting people run things for him. You know, the time when Walter Day was the owner, you know, he's just letting people run it for him. And he's just behind the scenes. You know, they have the power to do something, but they don't. You know, they don't want to do nothing because it's the interest. It's not like, for example, they have that because it's got a revenue somehow. You know, Twin Guys got to make the money and all that. And
I would tell you right now, if Rico bought the company, I would fly out to TG and start working for him as head custodian.
Do you think you'll be a good, fair custodian? I mean, if I was to say that.
Do you see how unbiased I am? I mean, I'm sitting in here with a call with you and your wife, who's the current Empire Arcadia, and I just made an exposed video on behalf of 3 other individuals.
No, what I'm saying...
You see how unbiased I can be?
Right.
You know,
no, right.
Like fucking drama channels.
I get what you're saying. No, what I'm saying is, it's like, once a person is in power, right? Do they change character? You know what I mean? Because now that you have that, it'll change the whole aspect, everything, you know. Because, okay, I'm now in power, so I'm going to think like I'm in power. You think you'll stay original as you are now.
Yeah.
Because politicians have that problem. Once they get into position, they're different now. Their mindset. A celebrity becomes famous. Okay, my mentality has changed. You get what I mean, right?
Yeah. I see Dave Hawks it like that, too, and I can see why he recused himself, which I feel like... A, what he did was unprofessional, even having a conversation with the disputee in private. And B, to recuse himself, fix that.
I just want everybody to just get back in the game. I'm just being brutally honest. No more of this drama shit. You know, stop with the corruption and collusion kind of bullshit. You know, no more secret messagings. No more nothing like that. You know?
And I think everybody deserves a fair chance to shine. They put in the work. So.
Yeah, that's true,
Eventually,
babe.
I'm going to be breaking records on speed gaming because, you know, I don't want to go on TG because it just looks like a clusterfuck. Also, the fact that I have to pay $50 per submission is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Are you serious?
Yeah, see that's business. That is ridiculous. It's all about money. It's not about the gamers. See, that's the only part that Ferretti was talking about was true. That they're not in it. They're not for the gamers. It's for them to make money. That's why the only thing that I fully agree with Ferretti. It's not about the gamers, but for themselves, you know. So that's the only part I have seen it again and I agree on.
The only way TG is going to get fixed is that submission process and the feed disappears. That's the only way I'll go back to that site. Because gaming submissions, like Guinness World Record says, anyone should be free to submit a world record. There should be no charge fee.
Right. I mean, what do you think about that, babe? I mean, because I'm sorry, I did a lot of talking. What do you think about
that's something I didn't.
But you think that's good? I mean, do you think it's making good and making money on people?
I think it should be free.
But okay, then let me tell you this. Let's pretend I'm Jace Hall, right? And I've told you this. Well, your money is helping to keep TG alive. So why wouldn't you help me?
$50, really?
Yeah, but I can use those 50 to put it into the
When
budget.
did this come into play? I mean, when did this start?
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
If I was Jace Hall, right, I'm gonna say, well, I'm using those 50.
I can tell you how much it costs to run that website yearly.
Okay. Then
how much it costs to run that website yearly is somewhere between $200 to $300 to about $500 a year.
Really?
Actually, probably less because my web disk, I have 1,000 gigs of space. I don't know how much a world record. Because then again, it's just text messaging for the HTML from when there's tracks set up. I would have to ask Freako, but I'm assuming the disk is less than 1,000 gigs. And if that's the case, then, or even 100 gigs, that would mean that it would only cost $100 a year. If it's anything more than that, it's probably going to be a little more costly, but I don't think TG is bigger than 1,000 gigs.
You said HTML that hypertext.
I would say $100, maybe $120 a year.
Well then, I was just trying to, think maybe what is Jace Hall doing? Maybe is he doing it for the budget? To keep TG flowing for
Well, you
the
gotta
money.
think of it like this: 2 submissions equals $100. That's enough to pay a web disk of 1,000 gigs. So whatever size TG is, do the math. If they have 3,000 gigs, that means they need 6 submissions within a year to cover their site. Just 6. Anything else is profit.
I see that. Then
you say you get 10 submissions a month. That's 120 submissions a year. Times by 50. I mean, how much is that?
I was trying to tell my wife if there's anything else she wants to input. Well,
That's 12 grand a year on just fucking 10 submissions a month.
What should be a change? Do you wanna do? Because I mean, you are EMP member still. So is there anything you wanna throw out on that? Like what you?
Because this isn't to throw EmpireArcadia under the bus or attack them or anything.
No.
I've already told Isaiah I don't care about EMP anymore.
Yeah, I don't have no.
I care about the gaming scene, not the drama behind it. The only reason why he got so upset, and the only way to actually do that is if I actually went over his behavior and to see if his debts in the history was true.
She's gonna take a drink. She's probably thinking about what to say about EMP. Do you think you wanna rep because you are EMP? So do you think anything should be changed for EMP, or do you think it should be the way it is?
Oh, there's a lot that should be changed.
There's a lot of people who want to get closer to
it's
like what is a lot needs to be changed?
Well, basically, I kind of try to stay out of the drama, because all of the things that's going on in TG, it's really sad. And I think that, we should get back to the way things was with gaming. Enjoy setting records and doing video games, and everybody getting the chance to show off their talent and getting recognized for it. So it's like all these new things that's coming about. Wow, it's like really depressing. So, but I'm I'm trying to I'm trying to do my thing. Continue to play my games and do speed runs or whatever, and try to do things to make me happy, with me and my husband. And even though we're going through a lot of things in our life right now, I'm trying to remain happy, and I just want everyone to be happy. That's basically, I'm an advocate of just peace and prosperity and happiness for everybody in the gaming scene.
That's something I can get behind.
Yeah.
Is there anything that should be changed in EMP?
Oh, it's a lot of things that should be changed. It's a lot of things that I see that should be changed. And I think everybody should support one another. Everybody should be honest with one another. I haven't been really active with EMP, and there's a lot of things that I want to do That's the reason why I stay, because there's a lot of things that I want to add with the team, as far as everyone binding together as a team and making a change for the better. And there's a lot of things that can be changed for the better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's excellent input. Yeah.
You know, I actually, when I first heard about EMP, I was quite impressed back in 2010. And I love the concept of helping a lot of the kids out of the streets that are getting involved with the law and getting involved in a lot of trouble, and being able to take those kids out of the street and bring them into a home where they could use their talent and use their passion playing video games, and not being a part of the corruption in the world, and just being happy. And I believe if everybody was happy, this would be a better place as a whole in this world. It would be.
Tell me if I'm wrong on this opinion. Maybe it's just me. Do you see these other YouTubers on here that are going after TG and these big video game figures, or these groups that are suspected of cheating? Do you see them like Isaiah when he was going to the cameras in person at these arcades and just following them along? Is it just me? Or am I the only one that is like sitting along the sidelines in an arcade where you guys or Freako or whoever I talk to are sitting in the arcade playing the games, and these YouTubers are the ones running around after the cameras trying to get publicity, like, hey, look at me, I'm having fun, hey, I'm recording on YouTube, hi. It's like, okay, cool. Do you
everybody's
both
trying
agree
to
with me? Do you both agree with me that that's how the scene on YouTube's looking?
Yeah, that's the scene right now, because it's a hot topic. It's a hot problem. Like the drama is big. So hey, let me hop in, and people act like they for the sample from the King Kong. They had nothing to do with the King Kong, but they hop right into TG and act like, oh yes, this is what I know of this and that. I hate it or I love it. I hate it or I love it. They're just getting in the bandwagon because of what it has gone to. You know what I mean? So people are, it's like with what you said, YouTubers are just coming in and just wants attention over it. You know, for me and my wife, we've been around for, well, let's just say we've been in the gaming scene for a while, and you have seen other people that were not even in it that all of a sudden want to be like part. They're saying that they want to get into the Kool-Aid. They want to get into the hype, you know, and they act like they've known about it for a long time, you know, and that's what Ferretti was also trying to. Rudy J. Ferretti was trying to say about that. There's like people that just came out of nowhere all of a sudden, you know, want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? They don't even have no experience over it. And that's the thing I do agree with Ferretti, is that, yeah, all of a sudden you just see people coming in because of the King of Kong. Well, he was in there for a long time. I think 2004. You know, he's been. Then Robert Merzik and him were friends at the time and all that, and they always been there, but they weren't given a chance to shine. So you see, then all of a sudden people are shining. They weren't even in TG long enough, and they're shining out like all of a sudden you're seeing people becoming like celebrities just because they get in the bandwagon. So yeah, it is the YouTubers. They just want to do that. They just want to hop in, acting like they're helping or their opinions and all that. So yes, I agree with you. Yes, it's a YouTuber.
Now, just to end this little interview of ours on just one little note, my opinion after seeing that CNC, that documentary you showed me, the very first half of it, I'll agree with on all three of you. That film and that idea was very sexist. To say that there's not enough female gamers in the world, it's pretty stupid. Yeah, there might be a small number, but to make a film primarily all female, and to specifically say, hey, look, there's too many men, we have to get them out of here, and make the whole film about female gamers, some of which I've never even heard of. Some of which that may not even, you know, be serious gamers. Like, I could, like, at that point, I could ask my sister to be in the film. It's like, really? Not that I have a sister, but it's like, really? Is that what it's come to? Like, okay, I'm in a movie now. Like, if I haven't heard of these individuals or these gamers, some of them I have heard of, and some of them I haven't. Then again, I don't research on, you know, people that break video game records. I find it completely silly that somebody would make a whole movie specifically about female gamers, and with the intention of showing that there's too many males. why not just make a movie all about gamers in general? Because isn't that what, gaming should be about? It shouldn't be about your race, your gender, your favorite religion, your whatever. It should be about the fucking games, not whatever the hell that was. And their response to that little kitties at the round table thing, which I thought was hilarious, was, oh, it's a small group of trolls, it was a bad thing, it's just, they're mean, yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about us.
Yeah, it's, really? It's stupid.
And those were people. Those were the people part of the No Princess in the Castle. And when Ferretti stepped in, when they casted him, all hell broke loose.
I feel like the idea of that film was terrible.
Well,
just terrible.
They say it's women who game, but that's what they're saying. It's women who game, and they want to interview people that are from the industry, that are programmers or.
Do you know how AVGN didn't want to watch the Ghostbusters movie? The female Ghostbusters movie, as he calls it. I'm gonna do the exact same thing here. I'm not going to watch this No Castle and the Princess movie. Because it's probably going to be sexist trash. If it's not going to have both male and female gamers in it, I'm not going to watch it. If it was primarily focused to all female, like the website showed, which I seen it, I'm not going to watch it. I love female gamers. Don't get me wrong. But if the film's primarily about that, one, I have no problem with seeing it. But if it's going to hate on males, I'm not going to watch it. Can you respect that idea? Is that what that film was about? Could you tell me? Because I don't plan on watching it.
Well, okay, this is what I was informed, right? I was informed that it was supposed to be women who game, that basically just like the endeavors of gaming of all their, they're like collecting things, of goods, of video game goods, playing over here in different parts of the world, and basically it's just trying to shine an outlet on the female gender, that what they do, it's basically like that. And then so it's like supposed to portray more like in that aspect. There's a certain species of women that do game, they play hardcore, they bring their business, the serious business in gaming. It's basically what it's trying to portray. And then it shows the male counterparts. When I say counterparts, I'm saying the male behind the scene.
Is Billy Mitchell and Ferretti actually in that movie?
Yes, Billy Mitchell's in it, as far as I know. But like I said, it's based before. Like I was saying, it's all based on who you know and everything, and it's favoritism. It's like that. But that's what along with everything else. So it's normal in some aspect. It's who you know.
Thinking about this, going back 4 years, why would Kat want to use Apollo to basically get Billy into trouble and call him a fat cheater, but then do a movie with him?
Well, Billy Mitchell came in late. Why? No, well, the thing is, Billy Mitchell came in very late.
Yeah, but why is he still in the film? I'm baffled. Why would he be a part of the film?
Because he's a celebrity at the time.
I know he was a celebrity at the time, but why would she want him to be a part of the film? Why would she, as an individual?
Oh no! Well, no. Let me. It's
back
a confusing
then they were
part.
buddies, and then years later they're not.
Talking about way back.
Way back then, yeah. But Billy. Well, when I know Billy came in more late on the No Princess in the Castle. So Kat, when I was told, right, I can't tell you a name because I swore to secrecy. I was told that Kat left, and Kat saying that she's been kicked out, but Kat left on her own free will, and then she started spilling poison on the documentary, which you saw, right, those screenshots that I showed you, right?
Because she was supposed to be a part of the documentary.
Yes, she was actually the concept was her idea. That's what I was told. Like the concept, like the way it's put out, that was her idea.
She has no video game scores, correct?
She has.
She's a blog writer, right?
She's some kind of a gaming journalist for like retro.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't. She has no game records, is what I'm saying, right?
As far as I know, truthfully, I don't know. I don't know that she has, but yeah, she has no records, far as I know.
So,
but
why the fuck would she even? I'm not even gonna question it.
Go ahead.
That's a stupid idea. That's like telling a fucking a pilot to not fly a fucking plane when he doesn't have a license for a fucking fighter jet. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, okay, you're gonna get into a fucking German fighter plane. You have no flying experience, but you've only read a manual. Good luck. Let's see how fast you could hit a building. That's what that's like. That's what that sounds like.
Well,
that sounds like something that was going to be born to fail and fall.
What I can tell you is this.
It's true though.
Well, let me tell you of this. What I've known from Captain Sparrow, Cat, whatever. I don't know how many names she has. Cat.
I was told that wasn't her last name, so I don't plan on calling her that fake name.
Oh well, what's happened with her is that at the very beginning, she, like I said, I known her and others known her as an important part of the gaming culture, like a classic scene. And she was looked as an important part of the classic scene because she's very knowledgeable of a lot of things of it. And a lot of people had mad respect for her and everything. What happened is that when Ferretti stepped into the No President Castle, it caused such a huge impact with her that she didn't want Ferretti in, and PSP didn't want Ferretti in, and there was a lot of like blackmail kind of thing going on, you know, and basically Kat felt that the film got destroyed and it ruined her whole life. That was her concept. It ruined her life, and that is that is supposedly part why she was created that way, that she is now. She has a revenge. Well, all fairness, she was never like, she was never like this. It's like, I don't know what made her change. Like, I don't know, was she on drugs or something? I don't know. It's like she just changed. She was never like this. She was actually pretty caring.
My boss warned me much about her and gave me all the information about her prior to me ever speaking to her.
I mean, no, but I just want to tell you, in the positive level, she was never like this. Like, something happened, like really bad, that caused her to behave this way. She was never like this. If you could talk to her, she'll talk to you nicely. She was an overall, like, well-spoken person. She looked well-spoken. Like, you could talk to her. She'll have a nice conversation. She'll become like a real good friend to you. She was cool and everything. I just don't know exactly what happened that she changed so drastically. I don't, you know what I mean? It's like something caused it to change her whole aspect, to cause her to be a bitch.
Well, if Kay didn't tell me enough, Data God told me even more, and that's pretty much enough to go from there. Well, I recall my conversation with her over the phone twice that we had, and they were both awkward. I lied to her on the phone because I didn't trust her in the beginning because I already knew all the information.
Well, I mean, let me ask you this. What kind of person says that, like, for example, me and my wife had finally got a card from Walter Day, right? A recognition. Finally got it. And she says that I blackmailed Walter Day, which is not true because Walter Day came to me. And it's just sad. I mean, why would you post that in public saying we blackmailed them? You know what I mean? We didn't blackmail Walter Day. Why would you say such lies? Why do that? Why cause the lies? It's like your mouth is like poison. And that's got me upset. It's like someone turned her into a monster.
So is there anything else you want to say before I end the...
Hey, baby, do you want to say anything? No more? No? Okay, she don't say. If I was to say one last thing, I want to say that before you end it, that, you know what, I hope I didn't offend everybody. I hope that nobody thinks ill about me for speaking freely of the situations. That I wish everybody could just get along. If we could all forgive each other for all these things that have happened and start all over, let's do this. I mean, hey, if PSP, Cat, and everyone else wants to, end this hatred and to each other and all that, let's do it. Hey, we could forgive. You know what I mean? We could forgive. Let's do this. No more hatred. No more backstabbing. No nothing. Let's just get back right into gaming. So if you guys, if those that don't like me and my wife, or even Mintro, those, give it a chance. Give it one more chance. You know what I'm saying? Give it one more chance. Don't be like that. We're all gamers. We relate as one entity of gaming, and let's just start all over again. No more of the drama. No more of this.
I was never mean to those two individuals that we mentioned in this thing, Tipster and Cat. These fans that he thinks that are spying on him, there are more than just a couple. There's quite a few, actually, who've been messaging me over Discord. And one of them, he even, quote-unquote, said flat out as a spy, added him again as a friend after blocking him and banning him from the server, re-added him to the server just to cause more drama after saying he'd let it go. Like, he doesn't know how to let go, and that's the saddest thing. Like, I told him August 29th, like, I'm like, look, in private email, I want nothing to do with you. Weeks later, I told you, I'm like, in that email, I'm like, I don't want to talk about you. I don't want to make a video about you. You gross me out as an individual because of what you've said. It does not support Apollo Legends views, doesn't support my views, and you don't support anything that I believe in. So, that being said, I'm out, not your friend anymore. And the comment that he raged about me, saying that I delete it, I archived. He cried about this over Twitch for an hour, and I fucking have a record, and I even archived it and sent it to him. Like, look, here's that fucking comment you said I didn't delete, or I deleted it. It's right fucking there. Have a good one. Bye. And I showed him the exact things. I think this is what makes him bitter towards me. I told him, look, this is the exact records of what you said in your Discord, that you raged and deleted massively, and your own community has told me that you've deleted community post after community post every other day. So, what's the big deal of you thinking that I made a video about you when I don't care that you're not relevant enough to talk about? When you're not gaming news, you're drama now. You've been drama over the last few months. Your own actual subscribers, not your sock accounts that you've been using to dislike my videos, have actually turned around and said publicly in your fucking comments section, that are all usually subscribed to me, have all said, yeah, why have you suddenly started doing this? We didn't subscribe for this, we subscribed for news. So you've said you've accepted drama. I have a log of this. You can't go back to news now. You tried, and then you went right back to drama. So it's either pick one or the other. You can't be news and you can't be drama. What do you two think? Do you think you could be only news or drama?
Well, let me tell you this instead. Let me tell you what you think. You think a journalist should be involved in a war?
No.
He should just film it, right? Like what's happening, not be involved in it, right?
Yeah.
Because then he becomes part of that, right?
Yeah.
He or she. Well. So no, you can't be both. You're either a journalist or you're within that boundary. You're in that deal, right? I mean, of course if you see someone's gonna get ran over or something, and you're a cameraman, of course you're not gonna just allow that car to hit that he or she, right? You'll push them and warn them, right? You're not going to just let them. There's a difference. But when there's a war going on, you're not going to pick up a rifle, say, hey, cameraman, pick up a rifle and help us out. We're in trouble, right? You do that, you're part of that now. You can't be both. You cannot be both. No. So to answer your question, no, you cannot be both. It's one or the other.
Yeah, and that was your own opinion. That wasn't me asking or pulling your leg or your neck, saying, hey, look, say this on my behalf. You said that on your own. This is not scripted. Besides my questions, that's the only thing that's scripted. Your own answers, I don't know what they are. You know, you don't show them to me. I don't see them. But, I mean, you got the general idea. I mean, the things that are going on in YouTube are pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not healthy.
Tit for tat. I think it's just terrible. I mean,
I'll publicly say this at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Tipster has admitted to me in a private chat, voice chat, that he uses sock accounts to dislike and like content and subscribe to himself and others. Not just a couple accounts, quite a few. And a lot of his fans have noticed and told me what his sock accounts are, and have been sending me images of what they suggest are sock accounts. I'm going to say right now to him, about 20 plus people. I'm not going to specify that many. Some of them are off and on Discord, and quite a few of them have joined my community. You really need to change your shit. Go back to gaming news or stop involving yourself in drama. Because I didn't subscribe to you and use you as an RS, a reliable source, like Wikipedia, for you to turn around and become drama. I use you as a source to see if you could get a hold of Apollo. That was it. Yeah, he was the only person publicly known to be talking to Apollo, but I found that that was bullshit. Because the closest person to Apollo was our White Goose publicly.
Well, I don't wish ill or bad to happen to Tipster. I'm just hoping that, yeah, I'm just hoping that every, that things will change for the better. No more, hope Tipster, changes the dynamic of, the drama thing, like not get involved in drama no more. Just be about gaming news and, not wishing him, disasters to happen, but don't get famous by causing trauma and which causes problems with other people. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, it's just not right.
Yep. I mean, YouTube does have logs of when somebody creates an account on their device or any device that is used with anything in their network, and the moment that gets tracked, period, at all, it could just as easily be shown if it's you on an account or not. So even if I get on a proxy, it's not going to matter.
Because, yeah, I mean, like I said, we all have our faults, right? We all have our faults. And
I've already openly admitted I only have 5 YouTube accounts. Yeah, I use a couple for Twitch. I use a couple for my actual channels. And the 5th one is a test channel. Test channel as in I upload unlisted videos on it and I just fuck with it.
So let me ask you this before you close it. If he stops, will you forgive Tipster? Like, would you forgive him, or in this case, Robert?
See, that's a problem. If he had stopped earlier, and when I say earlier, I mean at the cease and desist. It was before, right after that, he posted docs on DataGod and revealed his full name with the cease and desist.
Mm-hmm.
That's a federal crime. That's what my attorney told me. And a couple other lawyers that I spoke to. Since he released that cease and desist that showed his real name in my P.O. box and my name, with the intent to shame or harass online, I mean, I believe that got him a 12-hour ban on Twitter. If I were to...
I'm just saying...
him posting docs, that's a crime. Searching docs privately, not posting them anywhere for legal purposes is not a crime.
So there's no way you could forgive him if he could just go ahead and just...
I don't forgive criminals. That's a hard thing for me to do, especially ones that break federal law. Anything outside of petty, when it jumps to federal where it's basically close to murder, or with the potential threat of swatting, I look at that like somebody's the biggest piece of shit on the planet.
Well, I would
I could try to forgive him, but I don't want to. I gave him a chance to be my friend after he said all these things, and it was disgusting.
Well, I just say that, in my opinion, that you should, even me, I mean, I'm gonna try to forgive, even people like Kat. I'm gonna try to forgive and see it, that from this point, forgive her, and hopefully she doesn't, start, spewing her lies, like I told you about me. Her saying that she said that I was blackmailing Walter Day. I would overlook at it and pretend that never happened. So I'll just say that for your maybe for the best of everyone's for everyone that you should forgive.
Well, I stopped caring about those two. It's mostly that if he ever bothers me continuously, I'll just go to a federal prosecutor with that, or just tell DataGod to do so. I mean, he can do that. His name was released online without his consent.
I just say just maybe just hold back on that. I know I can't tell you what to do, of course, because you are.
It's my option, in my opinion. I'm allowed to do.
Yeah, your option, opinion, but that's. I mean, I just feel strongly that just hold out that and see what happens. Just let it see what happens from here on. Just sort of. It's like you're giving it a chance, but you're not really giving it a chance. Just sort of like wait a little bit and see what happens. Right.
Well, that's what I've been doing when I've been doing these little gaming news things, and just been having fun with what I've been doing, and just playing games and kicking back and doing what I want.
Yeah, Well, it's like a cloud. Let the cloud sort of like clear off and see what could, you know, you can see clearly what's going on, and maybe things just, you know, are okay now. Yeah, and if things get, you know, like if something gets out of, if something bad happens, you know, more things to you, then that's a different story. But just saying from this point, just you know, just see what happens. Just give it a chance.
All right. I mean, I don't really care much for the guy. That's why I haven't made a video. I thought about it. I'm like, I made one. I'm not uploading it. It's
Well, I mean,
that's not my
I do,
content, not my style.
because I really do think it's just a persona thing. You know, I mean, maybe he's not a bad person, you know, outside, you know, well, in the real world, and like maybe it's just a persona thing, you know, like how, like, an example, one behaves a certain way in the internet, and maybe outside of the internet, they're not really like that. You know, it's just like the Howard Stern. He talks shit to people, and, you know, he's a jerk, right? But once he's done with all that, he's like a nice guy to talk to anybody outside. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I get what you mean. That's gonna be it
like
for
that.
this recording. Thanks for coming in here.
Okay. Oh,
Both
thank
of
you
you.
for having us.
All right, thanks for having us. Been interesting.
Yeah, and tell Isaiah I'm not mad.
All right, I'll tell. Yeah,
Well,
I think.
he'll hear this.
Gotcha.
I'm not mad. I'm not like frustrated or pissed, and I'm not going to go after his group anymore or whatever. I don't intend
Okay.
on it anymore.